Hello everyone, and this is my walkthrough of chapter 3 of my action research. My name is Wayne Gokul. Now, first, overview of the project planner approach. Now, as its heart, this is a constructive approach. Students aren't just watching, they're doing as well. Now, they work with real world scenarios, building a grade checker, organizing a product database, cleaning up messy sports rosters, and so on, Netflix for data files and such. Now, the action research focuses on improving spreadsheet proficiency among the grade 10 students through a structured module-based instructional approach. Now, this study uses a scaffolded learning architecture with four sequential 1 hour lessons. So each lesson is timed to 1 hour. Now, each of these lessons builds on the previous one, moving from concrete skills like data organization to abstract concepts like logical and lookup functions. Now, before I get on to module structure overview, now this instructional design is grounded in a constructive framework. Students engage with real world tasks and so on, and they learn practice it rather than passive observation. Like say I do it and they just observe it. No, they do it themselves as well. Also, continuous feedback is built into each lesson. I use digital tools for real-time assessments, multiple checkpoints to address misconceptions, and interactive polls at the end of each lesson to monitor their understanding of each of these lessons. Now, here's an overview of the four lessons. As you can see, lesson one topic is data organization. As you can see, 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. Lesson 2, cell formatting. Lesson 3, logical functions, the if statements. And lesson 4, the lookup functions, VLOOKUP. Now, the rationale for approach. Now, this structured approach directly addresses students' inability to move beyond basic spreadsheet use. It includes visual learning aids, immediate feedback, and differentiated instructions and authentic assessments. Now, the target learners. Now, the target learners were grade 10. The students' ages ranges is from 15 to 16 years. Um, Pre-assessment showed strength in basic navigation and data entry, but weakness in organization, formatting, and advanced functions. Now, the key gaps included messy data structure, poor formatting choices, no experience at all with if or VLOOKUP functions, and difficulty troubleshooting these errors. Now, the teacher, my profile, my qualification. As a teacher myself, I designed all these materials, delivered instructions, collected the data, and reflected it on effectiveness. My approach is student-centered, tech-enhanced, and scaffolded. Now, where was this study enacted? This study was conducted at Esquib Island Secondary School, a school that I am attached to, in a fully equipped information technology lab with 28 workstations, a projector, and monitoring software. It is the main server that monitors all the computers in that lab. Now, lessons were held during regular IT classes periods once a week with 4 consecutive weeks. This classroom setup allowed for individual works and teacher circularization. Now, materials development process. Now, creating materials required systematic planning, testing, and refinement. Total development time was approximately 40 to 45 hours over the 3 weeks. As you can see, I had for the first phase, planning and design, duration 6 hours. You can see the activities there. The second, digital worksheet creation, which took 12 hours. Presentation materials, PowerPoints, 8 hours. Interactive tool setup, 6 hours. Assessment instructions, 5 hours. And testing and refinement, 8 hours to make each lesson, well, almost perfect. Now, lesson 1. Data organization, the materials that were used. Now, for lesson 1, I created a guided practice worksheets with intentional formatting errors, narrow columns, blank rows, and cut-off text to teach each strategic deletion and reorganization. Now, as you can see in the picture, this is the guided practice worksheet, the class sign up, as you can see. Then the second one was the sports team roster worksheet is more complex. And with scattered blank rows, mixed data with duplicate entries, it includes a step-by-step checklist for each for success. Students were guided through deleting empty rows, reorganizing columns, auto-fitting widths, and removing duplicates with all within a 25-minute time limit. As you can see here, the sports team roster. Next, the PowerPoint presentations. Now, I created introductory and concluding presentations using before and after comparisons, real world analogies like comparing a messy backpack to a messy spreadsheet. As you can see, this is the messy backpack analogy spreadsheet, the introduction and the conclusion one. And to end this lesson off, I use a Kahoot quiz to reinforce key concept for lesson one questions focused on delete methods, autofit, and formula safety. Now let's move on to lesson two, self-formatting materials. Now, lesson two materials included a product price list check worksheet with overflow text and Netflix style worksheet with formatting errors to teach wrap text and margin center. And they also had the presentation highlighted why formatting matters, professionalism, readability, and communication, and compared unprofessionals versus professional layouts. As you can see, this is the PowerPoint that was created, 8 slides. Now let's move on to lesson three, the logical function materials. Now materials for if functions included an eligible to vote worksheet with a nested if grid checker, two different ones. Real world scenarios were used to teach logical conditions. As you can see, this is the if function worksheet that was used, eligible to vote. We have about 8 names there. And the if function was used to see if they were eligible to vote or not. And this was a nested condition that was used, a nested condition worksheet. Now the PowerPoint presentation broke down the if syntax used in everyday decisions like bringing an umbrella. If it rains, it also introduced nested if for multiple outcome scenarios. As you can see, the PowerPoint file that was created. Then lastly, to end this lesson off, there are 5 question Kahoot, reinforced logical tests, comparisons, operators, and nested function structures. As you can see there, we have the questions and the students who participated in each. Now, lesson 4, the lookup function. Yes, the VLOOKUP lesson included a product price finder, as you can see on screen here, with a reference table practice area and debugging corner for intentional errors. This right here, as you can see on screen. Then also included a PowerPoint presentation. I use a phone book analogy to explain VLOOKUP arguments and included error troubleshooting tips for NA and REF errors. As you can see, the slides. Now the activity for this lesson was a word wall where the students completed drag and drop matching activity to reinforce understanding of the VLOOKUP syntax. As you can see on screen, this was a word wall created. And to end it off, I will give a quote. Technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. George Kurosawa could thank you for your attention. I welcome any questions or feedbacks. Thank you.